One. Welcome everyone to A Journey of Riches, the interview series with the authors from book 15, The Power of Healing. And I'm here with Ritu Bali, and we're collaborating on the book together, which is a #1 bestseller in Australia and the US. There's also bestseller status in 8 other countries, so very exciting about that. Ritu was born in 1971, 4th of May. She was raised in a small town of Agra in India. She studied in the Convent of Jesus and Mary at St. Joseph's School. She did her graduation and post-graduation with the English language as her major subject. Ritu established herself as a writer from her college days itself and contributed her articles and poems in various literary magazines. Ritu's passion for English drove her to do a Ph.D. in poetry and prose work of Dom Moraes, an Indo-English writer of great repute. The topic entitled Dom Moraes, the Man and the Poet. Ritu worked as a postgraduate teacher in English for 3 years from 1993 to 1996 in the government-owned public school before getting married. Soon after, she moved to Muscat, Oman, where she enrolled herself as a part-time teacher in a distant learning course at an Indian university and simultaneously pursued her creative writing in various literary groups. She has been contributing articles and views in various newspapers and associated weekly magazines. Recently, Ritu released her book on poetry, Heart to Art, a combo of poems with a theme of painting. Last but not least, she has been involved in social activities since her childhood days, receiving certificates for carrying social services, raising funds for the poor, imparting free education to underprivileged students. Great to be connecting with you today, Ritu.
Good morning, all the viewers. Good morning to you, John, and good afternoon also. I think it's an afternoon in Australia.
Yes, it's certainly afternoon in Tasmania.
Yeah, I'm so blessed to be in the 15th volume, and thank you all the people who are watching this.
Yes, and it's great to be talking to you. The book's done very well on Amazon. The book, of course, is titled The Power of Healing. What does healing mean to you?
Healing is just like a process of the scar which goes bad, and the more you scratch the scar, it goes into a wound. So nursing the wound of the soul is healing, which we are talking about in this book.
Nice. I hadn't heard that before. That's very unique explanation. So yeah, don't be touching your wounds so much. You've got to give them time to heal. It takes time to heal wounds. And of course, you shared a lot of insights, your knowledge. You've studied the Upanishads, the many spiritual texts, including the Bhagavad Gita. What's been your main takeaway from those texts?
Yeah, when I started reading, I was very casual in reading it. I didn't understand the hidden and bilateral meanings. So at gradual time, I started understanding things. And there are 5 things which take away the mind out of your intelligence. That is Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moh, and Ahankar. That means Kam means lust, Moh means obsession, anger, greed. So all these ingredients which make they cook the negativity inside your mind. So what I learned is, for healing, 2 things are very important. First is acceptance, and second is submission. Acceptance of whatever is happening around in the cosmos. We can do nothing in that, because whatever our karmas, whatever our the life is taking us, we have to go with that wind. But same time, we have to submit to the will of God and do our duties or perform our duties without attaching too much emotions. So control over the mind is very necessary. That I have learned from Bhagavad Gita. there are two words: selfless endeavor. That means one has to do the duties without attaching too much into any emotion. The balance of emotion is very important. That I have learned, because when we were kids, we were told like that. We just used to take it casually. But understanding came when life took me face to face. So these are the five ingredients: calm, krodh, lobh, moh, and ahankar. Ahankar means false ego. Ego also takes away the intelligence from person. False ego comes that I am something, and when we lose something, we are not able to adjust to the situation. Then the anger comes. The anger comes. It takes away the intelligence. So all these five ingredients are very harmful. So first of all, believing in God, believing in something which is more than us, but at the same time doing a selfless endeavor is something which brings the healing. But most important for the healing process is that you are willing to let it go. If we are willing to let the healing happen, only then it can happen. Sometimes people feel very happy discussing their troubles, just like it's like scratching your scars again and again into a wound. If you leave the scar, if you leave the wound, only then it will be nursed. And sometimes people, there is a very famous lines of Shelley, if I recall: we look before and after and find for what is not, and in our deepest laughter some pain is wrought. That means that if we learn from the past experiences, that is very good, and we take it as an experience. But if we put our hands in the muck of the past and don't get any experience, but we enjoy that experience, that is the wastage of purpose of life, I think so. The purpose of life is gained when we understand from the past but don't attach any obsession with it. We keep on moving in life. That is the like a flow of the river. Just like the wind is there, the wind is there, that means the emotions are there and the wind is there. The candle, we cannot lit a candle there, but we have to control the wind. That means the mind control will lit the candle of knowledge. So it is a balance of mind and body which will bring the healing. In short.
Nice. Yeah, I'm sure you could share a lot more about that. And in your chapter, you also shared a really personal pain that you went through, a betrayal in a close and in your family, and that was wow, it was very fascinating to read from your perspective and shocking as well. How did you heal from such a dramatic betrayal?
Very honestly, John, a day before my father's sudden death, which was very mysterious, I was talking to him, and he told me his fears that his life is in danger because I should not call him my brother, my parents' son, I have written. So he was demanding the legal formalities and papers from him. And it was very shocking for him because in our families, we handle over these things after the, you can say, the papers are there, after the, say, death of the parents and all. So it was very strange for him. So he took it on his heart. He was very depressed. And the other day, I came to know that he was no more. His body was, the last rites were done in very hush-hush manner, and I could see that he was all blue. And the negativity came in me that I was so shocked that even now, not a single drop of tear came into my eye. And I could see my mother running about the house like mad person. All the gold it had vanished from the house. Things were, I was not able to comprehend what had happened. I went to India. And then in such a shock, I left my mother there and came back, and I came to know that she was given death threats. So it was very difficult to take the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita and keep myself calm in those situations when I had lost my father and there was a threat that my mother will be killed. So what was the bone of contention? I understood that that was money, property, and everything. So I was so uh, say pessimistic that I was not ready to take any religion. So I was in a lot of pain. At the same time, a lot of say physical troubles were there with me, being a diabetic. Then when I started reading, first of all, I realized that I have to keep my past away from my present and find the purposeful life. What was my duty? What my duty was just now to look after my mother and take her out from that shop. Instead of self-pity, I had to help her get out of that trouble and help her come to me so that I could take care of her. So this realization came to me only when I understood that, see, if we fight with a negative person or negativity, we are losing the purpose of life.
Yeah.
And when we are losing the purpose of life, we are killing ourselves as well as others. We are not giving any happiness.
Yeah.
We are not giving an example for the other people who are going through the same experiences. So what I learned is, honestly, that my duty is first to bring her to me and take her responsibility. And second is, I forgave him. I gave him the property and I told him that even if 12 houses of that same length were there, you can't bring your parents back to life. So I don't want this. Your karma, your karmic effect will follow you, I told him. So now I try to forget whatever happened and I have moved on in life. I have written books. I am in my poetry. I am with my other groups of social service, as well as I am taking care of my mom, who had been very brave, that she ran out of the house to save herself, and then she had to forget whatever she made, she had given. So I had to give courage to her also, not only to myself but to her. So this is a kind of healing which came out of the scriptures I was reading, because it was just like direct interaction with God. Earlier when I used to read, I was reading just like I am going for prayers and I am doing it and I am okay, I have done it. But now when I was reading, I was directly interacting to God, that God, I have come to your feet, please help me. Please let me know what to do. So I came to know that whatever karmic effect has taken my father, maybe if had he been on the bed for 10 years, nobody would have helped. I have herself from here. And so whatever God did was good, and whatever he will do will be good. So first we have to submit to what is happening around us and realize our duty as quickly as possible. So controlling the mind, it gave me the strength to move on and move away from the negativity.
That must have been extremely difficult, but it's a testament to your courage and determination that you pulled through. Yeah, I don't know how I'd handle that if my brother betrayed me or a family member betrayed me. But it's an epic read, and one of forgiveness and grace and moving on. And so, what do you hope that people get from your chapter?
From my chapter, I just want to tell people that past is a muck and present is something which is purposeful, and hope is the future. So three things are there. We are inside, we have to see life in totality. It's not just the past, it's not just the present, it's not just the future. People say Happy New Year, it's 2019. So we just throw away the 2018 like anything. I said no, we are in time. We are traveling in time, just like a train, just like a bullet train is going on. And we are learning from the past experiences. They are making us richer. They are making us brighter. So I thank my past to move on in my, say, present, and learn and move more boldly in the future. So I tell, sorry, I have a message for my viewers that mind control is all control. If you control your mind, you control your body. So the best way is not only scriptures, but meditation and right thinking. There are three things which we have learning in Bhagavad Gita are three kinds of emotions, prayers: sattvic, rajasic, and tamasic. Sattvic means when there is a control of mind and body, and you are offering each action of your life to God. That is sattvic, without any result. You know, we are not doing business with God that I pray, so give me back.
Mm-hmm.
So the rajasic is when you are expecting something in return. And tamasic is that when you are doing it just for the heck of doing it. So the best thing is sattvic. That means when you are offering your duty to God without any expectation.
Okay.
And that is what, it's very difficult actually. Even I expect, and that's not good because I'm still learning. I am not a learned person. So I'm still learning, but expectation is again a cause of sorrow. We love our parents, we love our children, we love our friends. And sometimes when things go wrong, we feel very hurt. So this expectation is itself a cause of sorrow. So what I tell my viewers is that if we don't expect, I think that is the greatest joy, to move on in the future and allow yourself to heal. Allow yourself to be submitted to God. Acceptance and submission. These are the two ingredients which kept me moving.
I like it. I like it. Acceptance is so true. And what was the writing process like for you, Ritu?
Writing process of this book?
Yeah, you done a Ph.D, you done a little bit of writing, but how was it? Because this is a bit of a personal story. How was the whole process, the writing process for you?
The writing process of this book was that first I narrated about my life story, what happened in my life, and that was a very honest account. How silly I had been in delving in self pity, what damage I did to my children, neglected them, what damage I did to my body, and what medications I had to go with depressions and say negative emotion. I was in depression on medicines, frozen shoulder and other things. So whatever happened in my life, what I gained and what I lost, that I wrote. And then I wrote about the scriptures. And when there is a saying that bin hari kripa mile nahi santa, that means it is only the blessing of God that you meet the right people and the good people.
Okay.
So it was a blessing that suddenly I started meeting positive people, and those positive people gave me an insight to develop myself, to find a purpose in my life.
Yeah.
Because sulking won't give me anything. So this I have written, how scriptures and good people came into my life and helped me out to positivity and creativity. Again, I was back. I wrote my book, Art to Heart, and it was a success. And then you came as a blessing, of course, because see, I knew only two people there, Charlie and Effie. They are great writers, and I call them my siblings, you know. So suddenly you gave me an offer, and see, this is nothing is coincidence, as Plato says. And see, now I am talking to you and telling you about my story. So all this is there in the book, and I will love to read the other stories as well of the other four authors, yours as well. I am feeling so blessed. Thank you so much for giving me the offer to write.
You're welcome. Yours is a great read, and a mix of your wisdom and insights through your studies, and of course your personal experience of, you know, surviving a family betrayal, and a heartbreaking one at that. It's a lot of in depth, and people are going to get, you know, not only, you know, forgiveness and moving on, but there is some insights and some unique ways of looking at things by reading your chapter. So it's a great read. Of course, people can get the book. It's still the digital version, and the paperback will be ready at the end of January. So that's very exciting. And so people can get the copy
Really?
on Amazon, or you can order the paperback book either on Amazon or any bookstore around the world after the 30th of January. So very exciting. Thank you for spending time with me. Your morning, my afternoon, Ritu. And of course, you're in the Middle East, and I'm in the bottom of Australia in the Tasmania.
Yeah.
And your chapter's amazing. I really appreciate the courage in sharing the level of depth that you did. Thanks for your time, Ritu.
Thank you so much, John. Thanks all the viewers who are watching this video. Thank you.